Ladies and gentlemen, it appears that the basketball schools are taking over. Hi, welcome back to Who's Cast, and today I'm going to talk about the crazy fact that in college football, North Carolina, Duke, Kansas, they're all undefeated. All three of them are undefeated. Traditional basketball powerhouses have seemed to have finally transferred that over into football. Now, there may be a few slight issues with them. However, we choose to ignore that here. Why? Because this is real. The basketball schools have officially begun their transfer into football. First up, Duke, 2-0. A nice win against Northwestern. And then, of course, a week ago, they also had a win. So they have started off pretty good. 2-0 for Duke. Can't complain. First-year head coach, though. So that's pretty impressive that a Duke program, for the first-year head coach, was able to get 2 wins the first 2 games, especially against Northwestern. I did not expect them to win that game. Of course, you never really know with Northwestern if they're going to be good or not, but it's Duke with the first-year head coach. I think they deserve some credit. I'm very impressed with them. There's a chance they could pick up a few more wins being in the Coastal. It's looking like Georgia Tech is now. They got a chance against Georgia Tech, maybe against my Virginia Cavaliers, maybe against Virginia Tech. It's still pretty early to tell, but it is looking like Duke has a shot to be a 6-6, 6-6 team, make a bowl game, which would be. You don't know how good that would be for a Duke first-year head coach to make a bowl game. I mean, what did this roster go last year? 3-9, 10-2. Now they lost to Charlotte last year. That's Charlotte's first ever win over a Power 5 team. So with this roster, they're somehow winning games. It's impressive. Congrats to Duke. All right, let's move on to number 2, North Carolina, also in the ACC Coastal. Really, mostly it's just North Carolina's offense. Their offense is outstanding with their quarterback. I believe he's Duke May. Outstanding work. He's put up huge numbers in his first 3 starts. Carolina's 3-0 heading into their bye week. Truly impressive what they've been able to do with him at quarterback. He could end up being. Now I know this is a little early, but he could end up being as good or better than Sam Howell was for them, which I think would be phenomenal for Carolina. Absolutely phenomenal. They've definitely got a chance at a lot of wins. However, they do have the issue of their defense is terrible. Terrible defense. I haven't seen a defense this bad since Virginia's last year. And at least last year's Virginia's defense, it never felt like they were giving up 60 points a game, but that's what they did. This is what Carolina's defense did to App State. Listen, you can't survive letting other teams score 61 points on 40 points in the fourth quarter. How does that even happen? That should be illegal. Illegal. But yet Carolina somehow pulls it out, getting the win. And then this week they beat up on who'd they beat up on? Oh man, I can't remember who they beat up on. Anyways, week 0 was the more telling thing. They played against an FAU team that was missing, I believe, 27 or 28 scholarship players, and they still gave up a crap ton of points. The simple fact is, Carolina doesn't have a defense. Their offense is going to score 1 million points a game. They're going to be like Wake Forest last year. I don't know if those two meet this year, but if they did, probably pick the over because it may not be high enough, even if it's at like 100-something. So, yeah, Carolina's offense, great. Carolina's defense, you got to fix that stat. You're going to lose a couple games just because they can't stop them. All it takes is one turnover and suddenly you're down and your defense can't seem to. A paper towel would be more effective out there. A wet paper towel would be more effective than your defense is right now, Carolina. So get that fixed. Mac Brown, you better fix that stat before it ruins this offense. All right, final team up Kansas. Kansas is. Oh, what was that? Kansas is 2-0. Uh, Pretty sure they beat a nobody week 1, but week 2 they went on the road and beat. This Kansas team went on the road and beat West Virginia in overtime by 2 scores. Kansas, that's incredible. You know, I'm seriously impressed. I mean, Kansas football is terrible. And yet, you know, this new coach they have, whatever his name is, I can't remember. He's been there 2 years. He took over for Les Miles, and they're doing good. They're doing good. Of course, everyone knows last year they beat Texas at Texas, and that was a great win for them. That's a program-defining win right there. But more importantly, this year they've started off 2-0. They won their home opener, and then they won their road opener on the road against a Big 12 opponent. I mean, what more can you ask from Kansas? They're doing really good. I've been seriously impressed. That new coach over there, I don't know what his name is, but he has been doing stellar. So, yeah, Kansas, I mean, and they have a chance. If they can, they may be able to pick up a few more wins. I mean, you've gone from thinking, oh, can we get 4 wins this year, to thinking, maybe we could make a bowl game. You know, maybe they could make a bowl game. Texas, probably a loss. Oklahoma, probably a loss. Kansas State, probably a loss. Oklahoma State, probably a loss. But the rest of their games, you know, maybe they could squeak one out against TCU. Maybe Texas Tech. I mean, that's all you need is 2 upsets. And then suddenly you're thinking about, hey, maybe we can pull this off. You know, it's still a tough road for them because they do play a bit more difficult than either a Duke or a Carolina would. It doesn't seem that they have the offense of Carolina, where they're able to score a million points and just hope to outscore their opponent. But they do have a shot, which is all Kansas fans have been asking for. I mean, Kansas has been good before. They were ranked number 2 in 2007 and then lost. So I think they have a shot at it. You know, if Kansas is able to pull this off, I won't. If Kansas can make a bowl game this year, I will be very impressed. And at the same time, asking, you know, now that we've made a bowl game, what more can you do? So keep an eye on Kansas, guys. Keep an eye on all the basketball schools. All 3 of the basketball schools are doing well. They're all aiming to do something. They're all undefeated. What are they? 7-0 right now. The basketball schools are, all 3 of them. So they definitely got a shot. They definitely got a shot. Those 3 basketball schools, and then Kentucky. Kentucky's good too. Don't get me wrong, but I view them a bit differently because they've had success before. I view them a bit differently than a Duke or a Carolina, or especially another Kansas. So, Kentucky, you're doing good. Keep up the good work. And as for any other basketball schools, you know, you never know how it is. Any other basketball schools could be working it up. Gonzaga, are you going to start a football program? Are you going to join in on the hype? Maybe that'd finally get you into the Pac-12 so you could stop grinding through a terrible, terrible conference slate and losing in the tournament.